everybody, and welcome back to Ross and Wizzy's Fanfiction Power Hour. I'm your host, Wizzy Puff. And you know who's here with me? It's your other host, Ross Pitt.
Pow, 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 pow.
Oh my god.
Hey, everybody. It's me, the cool one, Ross Pitt. Bang. Yeah,
Oh.
I support guns.
Whoa.
Only in moderation.
Oh, okay, so like moderators should have guns.
Yes.
If you are a Discord mod, you deserve a gun.
Yep. Strap a gun on my Reddit mods.
It's just crazy out there.
Yep. Will get you for anything.
How has your week been?
It's been a roller coaster of emotions.
Ooh.
But only the not fun ones.
Aww.
You know, the really angry or happy or sad emotions. I didn't get any of those. I just got a roller coaster of stagnant, and,
Dang.
So it's been, it's been a kiddie coaster of a week. I'm going to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Ooh.
Tomorrow. Very excited for that.
I think I'm probably going to try and see that at some point, too, because I did like their last movie.
The War for the Planet of the Apes?
I believe that was the last one I saw.
That was the last one in the franchise. Frankly, perfect trilogy of films.
Mm.
And then they just have to ruin it with another great film. I'm assuming it's going to be great. Or good, at the very least. I don't know. I don't know if it'll live up to previous films in the franchise, but I assume it'll be on the upper tier of Planet of the Apes films.
Yeah, I have faith in them.
Yep. But yeah, Planet of the Apes, can't wait to watch that film tomorrow.
Awesome.
I guess maybe next time I'll let y'all know how I think of it.
I do like those apes.
They are very wacky and silly.
That's all those movies are about, right? Wacky monkeys.
It's just ridiculous nonsense. Actually, if you watch any of the films before the 2000 whatever reboot, they could get very dark, but they could also get very silly. It is a wacky franchise at its heart.
They distracted the monkeys with bananas.
And I don't think the newer films quite live up to that. But I'm okay with that. Because the newer films are just so goddamn good.
They are.
All right, well, that was a nice little conversation about monkeys.
Mm.
I know they're apes. It's in the title.
I got to see an aurora.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know that happened until after it happened. So that was a bummer.
Would you have been able to see it?
I heard that it was viewable over where I was, but I couldn't be certain.
Dang. I was, shocked because I was told there might be an aurora visible, so me and my family drove out to a nice little spot near the country to watch for it, and then we were, all shocked at how powerful it was at the time.
Yeah, I saw it in the picture sent. That was cool as fork.
Yeah. The pictures do make it look more visible than it was to the naked eye, but it's crazy.
I do hope to see an aurora one day.
Maybe we can do it together. All snuggled up with a blanket and hot cocoa.
I could have said Aurora Borealis at this time of year, at this time of whatever, localized entirely in the state of... But anyways, wow, that reminds me of a fic that we once read. Rainbow Dash's Unforgettable Luncheon.
Oh, yeah! Man, they could have had a reference to Celestia's mane when they talked about the aurora.
Oh, yeah. It does kind of look like an aurora, doesn't it?
Celestia's mane?
No, they couldn't have done that because that was set in the Equestria Girls universe. Speaking of Equestria Girls, God, I love Sunset Shimmer. Random tangent. Anyways, who made that story? Well, can't think of it. Anyways, what are we reading today?
Oh, you want to know what we're reading today?
Obviously.
The Final Conversation by Eileen Says Hi.
That's the one.
The Final Conversation? That's the one?
No, Eileen Says Hi, but yes, that's the one. Man, we didn't even plan any of that, but I think we made it work really well. Thematically, that fit in.
That was like the smoothest segue. You can't even tell when it happened.
And it came on a Wizzy episode. Wow. All right, let's get into it.
Chapter 1. Exit.
I could help, you know.
Under the midday sun, atop the tallest spire of Canterlot Castle, Celestia repressed a sigh. The voice behind her was one she had come to expect any time she prepared to leave the castle, no matter the planned length of absence. In a way, she found it almost a comfort, a reminder of centuries long past, when Celestia could regularly anticipate a discussion and a heartfelt goodbye before a flight away from Canterlot, and when she could provide the same for another in return. For well over 900 years, she had grown accustomed to quiet departures, give or take the Solar Guard accompaniment that she rarely felt inclined to converse with. Genuine small talk was hard for the monarch to come by. Granted, she didn't figure this talk would be very small, either. Not after...
Your place right now is here, Sunset Shimmer.
What an elegant voice. That's my princess.
This
for
is
sure.
my Principal Celestia voice.
It's Princess Celestia in this one.
Yeah, but I'm bringing it out for the princess for this one time. I always do this as Principal Celestia, though. This is, known throughout the podcast.
Yep. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Yeah, trying to think if you've ever actually done that before.
I've never played that character.
You must not have, yeah.
I will play her when we finally do Continued's sequel.
Woohoo! Someday, maybe.
Celestia turned away from the balcony into the entranceway, where her young protege stood facing her. She was poised, holding a look of determination, projecting an image of resolve. But Celestia could detect a tremble in her stance, a giveaway of the roiling emotions underneath. And it did not escape notice that her flame-red mane was unusually unkempt, almost fully obscuring the left side of her face.
It's been a long time since I've been able to accompany you on a mission,
Sunset replied.
I've finished my required assignments and, well, I was hoping to go out into the field with you.
A mission?
Celestia replied with a soft chuckle as she began a slow trot towards Sunset.
My dear student, you make it sound so covert, as if I were a secret agent. I assure you, this is merely a diplomatic affair. An important one, true, but one that you would find rather dull to witness.
Sunset held her stance as Celestia got closer, but the discomfort became more visible as her eyes failed to make direct contact.
Any chance to see you performing your royal duties would not be time wasted, princess.
Man, she's good at talking to her.
Mm-hmm.
Celestia kept her outward expression calm. Internally, however, she frowned. She could tell Sunset was specifically trying to say what Celestia wanted to hear, all while fundamentally misunderstanding what that was.
So this is before Sunset becomes the best. This is like in the past,
Yeah, I thought that, from the title, it was like the conversation they're having when she's leaving or whatever.
Yeah, so it's probably pretty, this Sunset is probably pretty fucked up in the head.
Yeah, probably very insecure and whatnot.
Yeah, and manipulative.
As a result of the insecurity, to be fair.
True. Oh my god, I am her.
It's a revelation.
I need therapy. Oh no.
That's so good, because our next fic is Sunset Gets Therapy.
Oh, can we please?
I bet there's an episode like that. Not an episode of fanfic.
I would love it if we had a medically accurate, yeah, whatever, fan fiction.
Yes.
About the villains getting therapy after their reformations.
Written by like a licensed psychiatrist brony.
Yes, that would be so great. And I know there's at least one.
Has to be. At this point, they're all grown up now.
Yeah.
Even if they weren't before.
All right, raise of hands. Who got their medical degrees thanks to My Little Pony? It's not a medical degree. That would be a...
Yeah, that'd be a PhD.
Yeah.
Prehistorical degree.
That's the one. Yep. Paleontology. Here we go.
All while fundamentally misunderstanding what that was. There will be a time, hopefully very soon, when I could provide you with the field experience you seek. But for now, as I said, your place is here.
Sunset's eyes were still slightly elsewhere as she grumbled a reply.
You say that a lot.
Pardon?
Pardon?
Pardon? She's French. She just like turns her head and she has like a thin little French mustache.
And a beret.
Yeah.
Black and white striped shirt.
Turns out it's Discord.
No, Discord's in stone.
Was he? This is before Twilight put him in stone, right?
No, Celestia and Luna put him in stone 1,000 years ago. Over 1,000 years ago.
Okay, so wait, did they put him back in stone afterward?
Yep.
Okay.
And then they let him free.
Yeah.
Redemption.
Let's go. Fluttershy.
Whoop.
Now, right in front of her pupil, Celestia stopped. Cheeks flushing, Sunset looked up. It seemed likely that was a thought she hadn't necessarily meant to slip into speech, and now she was scrambling to figure out how to address that mistake.
That I have to stay. That this is my place.
Well, perhaps I'm wistfully hoping that it will sink in one day.
Sunset just looked down and sighed, fearing she'd miscalculated with her jest. Celestia shifted to a soft, empathetic voice.
It's not forever, Sunset. We can discuss more once I return, but I assure you things will be different soon.
Then why doesn't it feel like it?
There was a bitterness in Sunset's words that stung Celestia's ears.
Why does it feel like you're punishing me for what I said before?
Celestia winced. She knew the conversation couldn't last too long, but she'd hoped it would take more time to reach this point. She took a calming breath, responding in a measured tone.
Your current lessons were planned out some months ago. I have not changed them in any way. I am sorry if they feel stifling, but my intent...
I'm not talking about your lessons,
Sunset said, the bitterness refusing to subside as she looked up and restored eye contact.
Even if you're right about how they feel, I'm talking about you. How distant you've become. How far away you feel. We do so little together anymore. What is that supposed to be if not a punishment?
Was it so long ago that you were asking for more independence, more freedom? That you wished that I would trust you to your own devices?
Sunset's a true American. I'm sorry, I thought you finished. I don't know why.
Conduct your studies in your own way?
Sunset's a true American.
Yeah, she was just like going through this whole patriot phase.
Freedom!
She's like, Princess Celestia, George Washington once said.
She dumps all of Celestia's tea in the harbor. And by harbor, I mean their little pond out in the back.
She does have tea, doesn't she?
Viva la revolution!
That would actually make a really cute fanfic if it's like baby Sunset, like in the Princess Twilight fic.
Oh my gosh,
and she
yes.
just like is reading up on American history and she role plays dumping Celestia's tea into the bathtub.
This would have way darker connotations for later on in her life.
Sunset's visible eye twitched.
That's not what this is.
She broke from Celestia's gaze again and began an absent-minded trot to the right.
You're cutting me off. You've stopped inviting me to watch the sunrise with you, even occasionally. You don't ask me to be by your side at important functions, or parliamentary sessions. You didn't bring me with you on your visits to Manhattan, Appaloosa, or Trotter's Falls. Who the hell is that?
Hmm?
You decided my place isn't with you anymore. It's just here. Close enough to be under your watchful eye, but too far for me to reach back to you. All because I said something I thought should have been obvious.
She paused and looked back.
It doesn't feel like freedom or independence to me, Princess. It feels like a gilded cage.
Celestia grimaced.
Do you really think so little of me, my dear student? That I would stoop to such pettiness? That I would withdraw my affection, my care for you? That I would be having this conversation with you, listening to you even as you say such hurtful words? If I wanted to push you away?
Sunset's head started to turn again, only for 3 booming words to pull it back.
Look at me.
It wasn't Royal Canterlot voice, but it was skirting the edge of it.
I need you to see it in my eyes. I need you to see the truth in me when I say that I have always cared for you, Sunset Shimmer, and I always will. Why you've allowed the idea that I would do otherwise to take hold in your heart, I cannot say, but it has deeply clouded your judgment of me. This must stop.
Man, this is sounding like cultist, Celestia.
Yeah, I don't know how I'm feeling about it.
I could be doing this like in a Darth Vader voice and it would sound a lot more obvious.
I was legitimately thinking Darth Vader. Although in this role, I think she would be more, I guess, the Jedi Council. If Sunset is Anakin.
Ooh.
Who becomes Darth Vader.
The Jedi Council's evil?
They're not great.
Dang. Thought the Jedis were good.
They are.
Okay, nice.
It's just complicated.
Oh, like this.
Yeah.
Sunset slowly brought herself about to face her mentor once more. Her tremble was more evident than ever, and Celestia now could hear it in her voice.
I don't mean to insult you, Princess. Really. I just, want to know if...
She didn't finish the sentence. Celestia picked it up for her.
If I'm bitter that you presumed that I was training you to become a princess yourself.
Celestia swallowed another sigh.
No, I am not.
She began to walk over towards her pupil once more.
If anything,
Celestia went on,
I'm bitter at myself. It has been a very long time since I have taken a personal student, particularly one as young as yourself, and you did not know what to expect when I took you in. Before I even had a concrete plan for what I wanted to teach you, I was inadvertently dazzling you with who and what I am, giving you unwitting demonstrations of my power, my capabilities. I feel the constant exposure to aspects of myself my little ponies so rarely get to see left too much of an impression. Perhaps it was only natural you assumed they were lessons for your own future.
Sunset mumbled something in response, and Celestia paused.
What was that?
My mark. It's practically the same as yours.
Go on.
How is that not destiny? How is that not proof that our paths are the same?
I markered it on with Sharpie.
Jesus,
My
Celestia.
mark is fake, Sunset.
The big reveal.
That would be funny. Kind of like in the season 5 premiere.
That's the equal sign cutie mark, right?
Yeah.
Celestia held still for a moment, regarding her pupil, before stepping forward once more.
In and of themselves, of course, sun marks are rather common among ponies. I've met quite a few over these many...
Sunburst, does he have one?
Yeah.
Yo! No wonder people ship Sunset with him.
Do they?
I don't know. Am I thinking of like Starlight or someone that he's shipped with? Trixie? I don't know.
Starlight is the big ship.
Okay, I
for
think
him.
I got the Mean Girls confused.
Uh-oh. Anyways, so yeah, the Sunburst, yeah, he has kind of a sun thing going on.
Good for him.
In and of themselves, of course, sunmarks are rather common among ponies. I've met quite a few over these many years, and many, especially parents, associate them with magical talent or power because of the commonality with myself. Of course, beliefs can be deceiving. Just recently, I met with a student at the gifted school with a sunmark who's been struggling. His theoretical knowledge is exceptional, but his field strength and spellcasting abilities are sadly unsatisfactory.
That's Sunburst.
What?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Oh yeah, his theoretical knowledge, because he's like a scientist dude, right? He's like a nerd.
I wouldn't call him a scientist, but yeah.
Yeah.
Scientist in magic theory, I guess, maybe?
Yeah, magicology.
Magology.
Magology.
But his field strength and spellcasting abilities are sadly unsatisfactory. You, of course, don't have such issues. Your magical ability, as I have said many times before, is outstanding. But talent is not the same as destiny. Destiny is not a thing any pony can force upon themselves. It can be only too easy for us to try to find clues to our paths in life, to find the shortcut to our purpose. I've seen other ponies lose themselves to the notion that they were meant for something truly special, something beyond. And when that idea takes hold,
she swallowed, heavy memory pressing down on her.
Even power equal to my own is not enough to satisfy that craving.
She stopped in front of Sunset and crouched down to her level, making firm eye contact once more.
What those ponies failed to understand is that they were sacrificing the most special part of themselves, their inner spirit. That is not what I want for you. When I met you, you were a kind, radiant soul, the very model of empathy. Qualities that were just as important to me as your magical prowess and my decision to take you on as a personal student. Now, though,
she placed a hoof on Sunset's cheek as her pupil frowned. Ugh, how could your pupil frown? Ugh.
Rubber hose animation.
I fear you've pushed too much of yourself aside in pursuit of your dreams of destined power.
Withdrawing her forelimb, Celestia watched as Sunset continued to stand, quietly, her breathing measured and controlled. Her eye, however, had wandered, drifting off to the horizon beyond as she formulated a reply.
I'm sorry for how I acted before, Princess.
She looked back toward her, then at the floor.
Both now and when I first brought up princesshood, it wasn't my place, and I was wrong to question your judgment.
O great leader, you supreme goddess of ours.
Okay, yeah, that with me, but, not sarcastically.
Slowly, Celestia drew back to her full height. Looking down on her student, she knew that line had been rehearsed. It hadn't been rehearsed especially well. A very obvious monotone in its delivery.
I don't ask for you not to question my judgment, Sunset Shimmer. In fact, I welcome it. What I ask is for you to understand that judgment, and for you to respond earnestly, not tell me what you feel will get me to change the subject.
At this, Sunset's mask broke as she looked up toward her mentor, her teeth bared. Her fury only lasted for a moment, however, as her face crumbled under Celestia's gaze.
I'm sorry,
she replied.
Really, I am. Sometimes I just feel like I can't talk to you honestly anymore. Because if I do, I'll say something dumb or get angry or yell. It makes me feel like a stupid little filly. I try to follow your example. I really do. But I just get so frustrated all the time. Me with Mr. Rogers. I don't know. It's just dumb.
Oof.
At this, Celestia crouched down once more. Anger is a natural emotion, my dear student. I don't judge you for having it. Expressing it without restraint can be a dangerous thing, without question. But the same can be true for letting it fester, where it grows into resentment. Properly managing anger is a tricky thing, one that took me a very long time to master.
Sunset blinked, more than once.
You?
Indeed, Celestia said, allowing a smirk to creep across her face.
Once upon a time, I had quite the fiery temper myself. Perhaps my control in that regard is yet another thing I make look far too easy.
Sunset laughed a bit. A wonderful sound.
I kind of want to hear more about this, Celestia.
If I didn't have a schedule to keep, I'd tell you all about her. Alas,
Celestia said, and meant it.
I'll be sure to have a story about her for you when I return. As it is, though, I do have one more thing I have to say before taking my leave.
Yes, Princess?
Celestia shifted into a sitting position. After a moment, Sunset mirrored it.
Please know truthfully that I do not hold your behavior against you. If I kept my distance more than I should have, it was simply because I was shaken by our exchange, and needed time to think about how to better approach my role as a mentor. I don't want you to feel hurt, and it was never my intent to isolate you. I sincerely apologize.
Sunset stared at her for a few moments before replying.
So, if you never meant for me to become a princess, then what am I to you? What future have you been trying to prepare for me?
Your future, Sunset. Yours, and yours alone.
Sunset's eyes narrowed.
Meaning?
Celestia's heart sank as she realized just how little her warnings about destiny had meant.
Meaning I see in you, and have always seen, a pony with amazing potential. I wanted you to learn how to harness it, to become the best version of yourself you can be, and have the means and opportunity to make a real difference for Equestria.
She had braced herself for an explosion of fury, a series of vengeful curses and language entirely unbefitting of Equestria's seat of power. Instead, though, there was simply quiet between them as Sunset processed her words, before eventually lowering her head.
So there was never a plan for me?
This must be devastating if you worship Celestia and she doesn't even have a plan for you.
Yeah. It must be even more devastating when she figures out about Twilight.
Ooh! Yeah, there was a plan for Twilight. Sorry, Sunset. She had a destiny. Celestia placed a hoof on Sunset's shoulder.
Not in the sense you've been imagining, no. Because there are parts of you that remain undiscovered by yourself. In focusing so closely on your desire for princesshood, you've neglected your own identity quite severely. And, in order to correct this, the next phase of lessons will be focused on obtaining that self-discovery.
Sunset looked up.
How?
We could start, perhaps, with something that should be quite simple for you. Making some outside friends. Go touch grass, Sunset.
Sunset's expression remained dour, yet she almost snorted with laughter.
Friends? You can't be serious. Friends? What good have friends ever really been for any pony? Friends are distractions.
I can understand why you feel that way, but friendship is quite a bit more meaningful and magical than I think you realize.
She really said friendship is magic.
Yeah. It is wild how so many prodigies of the arts don't realize that the literal most powerful force in this universe, canonically, is the power of friendship.
It's very hard to master because of how distracting it is, though.
That's true.
But I've mastered it. That's why
good
and
job.
Ross get along so well.
Maybe Pinkie Pie is able to do all the wacky shit because she's got so much power from all the friends she's obtained over the years.
Yo. Imagine it's like, you may be the princess of friendship, but I have more friends than you could ever dream of. And then she like snaps her fingers like Thanos and Twilight dies.
Damn.
The true power of friendship.
Yeah, it's weird that actually did happen in the show.
Friendship is quite a bit more meaningful and magical than I think you realize, and it's critical to that crucial understanding of who you truly are.
Sunset nodded curtly, her head turned away, and as Celestia rose to standing position, she could hear a soft mutter.
There was never a plan.
Celestia held back another sigh. Her student remained fixated on the loss of her alicorn princess destiny above all else. Convincing Sunset of the importance of friendship would not be an easy task. Unfortunately, it would have to wait. I'm afraid I've kept my chariot waiting long enough. I must depart. Sunset stood up quickly.
Wait.
I promise I'll be back very soon. Please let yourself relax for now. De-stress. You have my permission to visit the city, or go anywhere you'd like within the castle grounds. But above all, just think about what we've discussed here. About friends, about self-discovery, about finding your own future.
You know who was allowed to visit the city without permission? Twilight.
Ooh!
I think Celestia learned more from this than Sunset ever did.
You always give the more freedom to the second kid, okay?
I don't feel that. Princess.
Believe me, we will have all the time in Equestria to talk about this when next we meet.
Sunset raised a hoof for another interjection, but whatever words she'd intended to say never left her mouth. Her ultimate response was simple resignation. Her head hung low.
Okay. I'll see you.
Celestia wrapped a foreleg around her shoulders, then gave her a soft nuzzle.
Never forget that I care for you, Sunset. May Equestria watch and protect you.
Oh, I guess that's what she said instead of May Celestia. Eventually, Sunset nuzzled back.
You too.
Slowly, they withdrew. Celestia turned away, spread her wings, and, without a look backwards, took off to meet her chariot. Doodly-doodly-doo. In that moment, the Princess of the Sun didn't yet know her beloved pupil would not be there when she returned. She did not know that her diplomatic visit would be interrupted by an urgent communique from the palace, that she would return in haste to find a short, field-written note on her bedspread, that she would run in despair to a dimensional rift that had closed hours before, that she would spend years dissecting that very conversation, picking apart every word she'd said and wondering helplessly what she could have said differently, done differently. Why she hadn't simply said, "Of course, Sunset, you could come along right from the beginning." She did not know that she now had a new failure. Calling Sunset a failure, that's kind of rude.
I think she's calling herself a failure.
I know. I was trying to make it sound like she was being mean.
Oh. You don't need her for that.
Yeah, she does that all on her own.
Celestia.
Another dark specter of the past that would join the many others that haunted her with each lowering of the sun and raising of the moon. What she did know was that she'd told Sunset she would have a story for her when she returned, one she'd hoped would bring back that joyous laugh she'd heard so briefly just a few minutes before. And as she glided away from Canterlot Castle, she was content to simply consider which story to tell. The end. That was The Final Conversation by Eileen Says Hi.
Could have used a bit more talking.
That was a lot of talking.
Yeah, but I could have used a bit more of it, you know. Oh, yeah. Just a few more gut punches.
I feel like her being interrupted like that was pretty, realistic to, what would happen to Celestia in that situation. And Sunset would be used to it by this point. She'd just be resigned, like, okay, fine. Then I'm just gonna leave in this portal.
Yeah, actually, yeah, probably. Yeah, Sunset Shimmer kind of got the short end of the stick there.
Yeah, it felt kind of like Celestia was, like, maybe trying to have this conversation by, just, like, not letting her come. Because this was just, like, a diplomatic mission. It didn't mean much to her. She could have let Sunset come with her.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was outside forces that kind of forced her hand on this. I don't know. Or maybe it's because Sunset's a bit of a rowdy bitch. So she might have fucked something up.
Oh, no. Just, like, hears someone insult Celestia, and then she's like, what did you say? Kills them right in front of their army.
Yeah, that's Sunset for you. Celestia definitely took this experience to heart.
Yeah.
And grew from it. Whereas Sunset...
She took it to heart, but...
Ooh, boy. Yeah. She did what I would have done in this situation, which is the understandable reaction of running away to a high school dimension and becoming the bully of the school, and then trying to take over Equestria with a teenage army.
Oh my god. Run, my child soldiers.
Man, I wish Phil and Sunset was handled better. But, you know, it's a choice that she made.
She has to live with it.
Yeah.
I really did like this story just as, like, another great Celestia conversation fic.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was thinking halfway through, man, remember, what's it called? A Moment's Worth. I was thinking about that halfway through this, and I think A Moment's Worth does the talking thing better. And I will never not compare Celestia talking stories to A Moment's Worth, unless there's a better one that comes out.
I think in A Moment's Worth, it's like practiced Celestia who, like, says the perfect things to Twilight at the perfect times, and this is unpolished Celestia having a tough conversation with someone who needs a different person to talk to right now.
For sure, for sure. It does delve into, like, the emotions, but I do think it could have done a bit more from Celestia's point of view, emotions-wise.
Yeah. Maybe have her hit Sunset.
Well, maybe not that, but maybe think about hitting Sunset.
You could see the rage in Celestia's eyes as she raised her fist and then lowered it, realizing that she could get in a lot of trouble if she went through with what she was just thinking.
Celestia, definitely glad that she learns from this experience. And I haven't read the Fall of Sunset Shimmer comic in a while, which also sort of handles this.
Oh.
But I can't remember if they have really a discussion in that or not. I definitely think that this handled it better, though. The comic, from my recollection, wasn't great.
Dang. That sounds like it has so much potential.
Yeah, I know, right? That's why there are so many fan fictions about this.
Yeah.
I don't consider the comic canon anyways, though, so...
Yeah.
I consider very few of the comics canon. One of them being the somber backstory.
Yeah.
Shakespearean levels of sad.
What a tragedy.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, good job, Eileen Says Hi. You did better than the comic, from my recollection.
Yeah, if I had to say anything, I would say this is my favorite Eileen Says Hi fic now. It's better than the other one, and the other one was not bad by any means.
There were two other ones.
Two other ones. Dang, this is our third Eileen Says Hi fic.
They also did. Embrace Your Demon.
Embrace Your Demon.
Yeah, it was the one that we read like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I just realized I forgot we did that one. Dang,
Yeah.
We're doing another Eileen Says Hi fic in such short time. So popular.
Yeah. Popular is popular. All right. Yep, that's all I have to say about it.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
I do enjoy myself some room tone.
I do declare.
I do declare.
I did see a putty tat.
I did see Mommy kissing Santa Claus.
Hot.
Get your mind out of the gutter. This was a completely platonic kiss.
Completely platonic kisses can be hot as hell. Take you and me, for example.
No. We're terrible examples.
Yeah, our children should stop looking up to us.